Welcome students to the class of economics. We are undertaking the Indian economic development session. Today we are starting with the topic employment and unemployment and various issues and concepts related to them. So if we talk about the employment as we started with the introduction level, see the situation of employment is very adverse in our India, preferably when we are undergoing this lockdown under the pandemic. We can say near about in present scenario, 1 out of 4 employed person has become unemployed. This is the report of CMIE that has been published in last fortnight. So, in respect to the employment, this is a very important topic and a major challenge for an Indian economy to deal with it. So, we must be able to know what do you mean by the term employment, what do you mean by the term unemployment, how does it occur, what are the types, and the several related issues regarding them. So, with respect to employment, as we started now, employment is a productive activity that leads to generation of income, source of living. It means if a person has employed himself in some kind of productive activity from which he has a chance of earnings or he has a chance of source of living, or he may earn some amount in terms of monetary benefits, he can say he has been employed, he has been under the job. Let it be the remuneration, whatever be the remuneration he is being received. If he has employed in the production of goods and services, he is employed in the exchange of goods and services, we can say he is under the source of employment and he is getting his source of living so that he may continue his and his family livelihood. So with respect to employment, as we know, the person who has been employed is known as worker. In general, we say the worker is a person who has employed himself in a productive activity in order to get his earning in monetary terms as a return for his services. It means if I have employed myself as a teacher and I am teaching you and giving you the knowledge and education of economics and statistics and Indian economic development, I am saying that I have been employed and I have been given the employment by the school or by the authorities. So, if we talk about the worker, say worker can be categorized into two forms, that is self-employed and hired workers. So the person who is giving the job to himself or the person who is engaged in his own professional business, we can say he has employed himself, so he can be termed as self-employed because he is undertaking the production activity by his own. Let it be of some services, let it be of some basically trade or retail or wholesaling business or production activities. If we talk about the hired worker, the person who has been actually placed on the job and he is doing his services for some other person or owner or authority, we can say he is a hired worker. Hired worker can be classified into two forms again. One is casual workers, one is regular workers. We, in respect of casual worker, we say they are the daily wagers or the migrant workers that you used to see in news channel, India Today, right? They are just basically a daily wager who are working on the daily basis. They have not been given the permanent employment so that they may be able to earn some permanent source of living. They have been employed on daily basis. If they have not been employed in any day, they need to be vacant, they need to be unemployed at that time. So in respect of casual workers, we can say we have daily wagers, migrant workers or farmers who are working on rent. Say there are some marginal farmers or small workers who used to work in rural areas and who used to employ themselves disguisedly and are being paid a very low amount of wage in that rural or backward area. But we need to say that these are the casual workers since as soon as the work is accomplished, they need to be unemployed. Now in respect of regular worker is a worker who have been given a permanent source of job, permanent source of employment by the authorities or owner or company or a firm. We can say employees in MNCs, say HR manager, human resource manager, general manager, or we can say sales manager, production manager, assistant general manager, directors. There are several designations by which the qualified person, capable person, educated person, professional person can be employed. on a regular or a permanent source of living. They are employed at a higher wage rate, they are employed at a lower wage rate. So in India, a mass poverty is being prevailed only due to the increased number of casual workers. These casual workers are high number just because they are illiterate. That we need to focus on. Several workers during this pandemic are moving from their place of work or job to their native homes. Why they are moving to their native homes so frequently? Just because they are not being having any source of income over here now. The company have refused to employ them and they are not being paid, they are not being given the food to eat and shelter to survive. So we just need to take care of this form of worker, and you might be seeing several accident and casualty are being happening in day-to-day of life. Now, moving forward, we are going to see labor supply. There are three terms: labor supply, labor force, and workforce. Labor supply is consisting of all those workers who are seeking job, who are capable of performing some source of employment. Right? Now we can say it's a total number of total available and willing to work laborers or workers corresponding to man hours and existing wage rate. It means whosoever is available for work, we can say they will be counted under labor supply. Whether placed or unplaced, that is another issue. But when they are available to be placed in some sort of job or an employment, we can say we are terming it as labor supply. So again, say labor supply refers to the total available and willing to work laborers and corresponding to the available man hours and existing wage rate. We can define that we are referring to as labor supply. Out of labor supply, we need to find out labor force. It means it consisting of all those workers who are actually placed plus who are seeking to be placed over employment. So labor force means total workers employed plus workers seeking employment. Then out of labor force, we need to find out workforce. It means the person or the workers who have been actually placed in job and are performing the job or source of employment. So total worker actually employed or placed in job, we can say they are actual workforce that are performing the actual work or getting employment now. That's why I told you, if I am talking about the labor force or workforce, out of total workforce, one has, out of 4 workforce, one has been unemployed. So worker participation rate, if we talk about, it is the rate which can be calculated from the total population lying in a country. And if we say total workforce that have been employed in a country out of total population into 100, we give you the percentage rate of worker participation. In India, it has been set at around 35 to 40% workforce has been employed. Rest all are unemployed or school students or college students or old citizens, and several people are remain unemployed due to lack of employment opportunities and growth and development of an economy. So, in every 5-year plan, the government used to make the objective of increasing the employment opportunity as a source of livelihood. Now, if coming to the employment rate can be calculated from the formula of workforce over labor force into 100. Workforce, the person who has been actually employed. Labor force, actually employed plus seeking person into 100. It means out of total seeking person and employed person, how many have been actually placed? We will be giving you employment rate. It means whatsoever be the employment who have been employed till now. If we say that there is 35 to 40%, sorry, if we say there are around 30% employment rate, and out of which 7.5% have been unemployed, there is a drastic consequences to India going to happen. Now, as we see that these are the related concepts and issues relating to employment and supply of workers. We are coming to the next thing, worker participation in India. Let's see what is the rate of worker participation in India. Nearly 35 to 40%, as I told you, of total population has been employed. Out of that, 70 to 70% are men and 25 to 30% are women. It means even today, due to lack of gender inequality or bias, we can say due to lack of development in rural area, we have regional disparities, right? Due to lack of education, lack of literacy, we have several reasons why we can say the number of employment of men are more than women. Now, in urban area, 30 to 35% of workforce have been employed, out of which 65 to 70% are men, 30 to 35% are women. Again, we say whenever there is a employment of both men and women, and after marriage the women are being compelled to leave the job, and it leads to higher dependency over the male who is undergoing the source of employment present. It means if men and women both can earn a good source of living, both must be allowed to continue their source of profession or job or employment. So, in urban area, as we see, 30 to 35% of workforce are being employed, out of which 65 to 70% are men and 30 to 35% are women. Now, in rural area, we say 65 to 70% workforce. It means almost 2 times of urban area, the population has been employed in rural areas. That's why we say that in agriculture we found all usually disguised unemployment. Say out of it 50% are men and 45 to 50% are women. It means women are also equally participated with men. But the job the women are performing in rural area is rather a lot miserable and adverse, because they have been given all such recognized job to be performed that have no work or that have no pay, basically. It means the women are being participated with the men, but the men is only being paid, whereas the women left unpaid. So, as a housemaid or as a normal term, when used to just reap up the crop, the women are just used to participate with men, but the employment rate is given, or employment wage is given only to men. So we say in rural areas 65 to 70% workforce have been employed, out of which 50 to 55% are men and 40 to 50% are women. So this leads to a lot of disguised unemployment in rural areas. Women cannot leave the place of their residence, right, and to work outside the area, village, city or town, since because there is a homesickness and the women are compelled not to leave the place of their occupation or home. Now, if we talk about the reasons of such kind of low employment or disguised unemployment or high rate of employment in rural area but low productivity, we can say number one, there is a high dependency. As I told you, in urban area, whenever a woman or female is get married, if she was working on some job or employment, she is compelled to leave the respective job and need to be a housewife. So there is a high dependency on the male, and people would love to depend more on the person who is actually earning the bread for the family. Number two, disguised unemployment in rural area. I told you that people have been employed. So many people have been employed in rural area, but the fact is the person who is actually employed is being paid, rest all left unpaid. That's in the case of female. Gender inequality and underdevelopment of women. Women are not being allowed to get educated, preferably in rural area. Child marriage is again a curse and adverse for the female and women, right? Moreover, the female who pass in 12th, luckily, fortunately, she used to get married as early as possible, right? In rural area, it is being notified and certified that the women are basically the machine of producing babies. So we said there are a lot of gender inequalities and development of women, since women are treated as a burden for the families. Again, we say the regional disparities and low development. It means there is a wide difference between the development between urban area and rural area. In urban area, you can find a lot of infrastructure development, but in rural area, you will find a lack and absence of infrastructure, preferably social infrastructure, that we say about education, health, accommodation. It means the rural areas are lagging behind urban area in all major infrastructural facilities. So there is a lot of regional disparity and low development, and that's why we say lack of significant infrastructure and development in rural areas. So These are basically the possible reasons of low participation, or we can say disguised participation in rural areas and urban areas where the women are placed in much lower proportion. Now, we have small fact of figures, that is, when we talk about the urban worker who has been paid in urban area, self-employed people are 62%, higher person are 30%. It means in rural area more and more people are more eager to have their own area of profession. Let it be some local store or some retail house or some own firm they would like to operate, right? In rural areas, again the self-employed proportion is 57 and the high proportion is 43. It means it is quite more, right? Not quite less basically, but still the people would love to work for themselves rather than to be employed for someone else. Here we say the person who have been employed at high, moreover they work for service industry as well as manufacturing industry to get higher amount of pay so that they may able to have higher source of living. Then, if we talk about the male who have been employed as hired worker and self-employed, 48% approximately have been employed as hired worker, whereas 52% as self-employed. Not much difference, but it means we can say the people have been earlier used to get self-employed much, but now it is making it up. Likewise, female, if we say hired workers or females are 46% and self-employed are 50%, since in case of self-employed, they used to work along with their husbands or male workers. And this is the main concern when a female is working with her husband. We can say she has been unaccounted for her job. That's why she is not being paid. And that's what we counted her as a disguised unemployed. So these are basically the small facts that we have seen with you, and this is basically the term of employment and unemployment in the first session that we have concluded right now. In the second session, in the final session of employment and unemployment, we will be discussing the sectoral distribution of employment as well as the causes of unemployment, the types of unemployment, and what the remedial action can be taken by the government to improvise the unemployment. Right? So, thank you so much students for viewing our lectures. We shall be meeting very soon with the second part. Till then, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay alive. See you.